Hi, everyone. We are going to get started in just a minute. I'm going to wait until right at 7 o'clock for a few more people to join us. All right, I have 7 o'clock, so I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time tonight, but thank you for joining me for tonight's preseason golf webinar. My name is Kendall Zeslitz. I am in charge of golf for Special Olympics Maryland. It's my second year, so I'm excited to no longer be a newbie and to see how much we can grow this program from last year. Tonight's webinar is being recorded, so tomorrow morning I will send out the slides as well as the link to the recording, just in case you need to reference it for anything. All right, tonight we are going to get started by going through the mailing list, the management team, the coaches training we have coming up this coming weekend, and just doing a review of events for this golf season and some key rules. And then at the end, we should have plenty of time to open the floor up for any discussion or questions that you might have.
And Kendall, if you want to go ahead and let them know how to ask a question, just for anybody who hadn't been on one of these lately.
Sure, definitely. So that is Steve Bennett. He is going to be in charge if you guys have questions tonight. So there are two options to do so. You can either use the raise hand figure, which is right on the right side of your screen, and we will unmute your line and you can ask your question, or you can type your question into the questions box. That'll go directly to Steve. Either he will answer your question. If he doesn't know the answer, then he will stop me and pass it along to me. So please ask questions whenever, or if you want to wait till the end or email me, whatever works best for you. The golf mailing list. So by now you have probably received so many emails from me, and I'm sorry because I know the season is just starting. There's just a lot of exciting things going on. If you are not receiving my emails, please reach out to me so I can add you on. I know when we have a list as long as we do, sometimes emails will bounce back for no apparent reason. So if you aren't receiving at least one email from me throughout the season, let me know and I can make sure that you guys are added onto that. Our golf management team is pretty similar to last year. We have two rules officials from USGA on it. Mike Cumberbatch, whose brother Joe is actually an athlete with Special Olympics Montgomery County, and Marty Parks, who will be running our golf coaches training for us this weekend. Steven Sommerfelt Jr. is our athlete on the team, and he just came back from winning gold actually at USA Games in Seattle. So if you see him this season, please congratulate him and his dad. They did an awesome job out there. And then we have Chuck Helmuth, Bill Lowe, and Bob Baker. They are all coaches and or unified partners for their respective counties. Our management team focuses on 4 areas just for enhancing our golf program. The first one is creating more coaches and unified partners training opportunities. So we have our first one coming up this weekend, and I will touch on a few more details with that in a few slides. The second area we focus on is improving and gathering equipment for our golfers. Last year, we had that great golf club drive. So thank you to everyone who donated and was a part of that. That's something that we're looking to continue once every few years, just so our athletes can have clubs that are as great as they are. The third area that we focus on is growing our qualifier schedule and enhancing qualifying opportunities. We've taken some steps forward with that, with requiring all counties to host a qualifier. So thank you to everyone who has contributed and sent in the sanction form. We're really excited about the number of qualifiers we have so far this season and excited to see how many more we can get. The last area that we focus on is the big one, which is running the Golf State Championship. So this is recruiting rules officials, volunteers, just trying to give you and your athletes as great of an experience as possible. Our in-person training, so we are doing it again at Hillendale Country Club, which is located in Baltimore County. The head golf pro there, Brandon Greco, has some personal ties to the population that we serve, so he's absolutely fantastic. The training is going to run from about 10 until 12, and there is the option to play a discounted round of golf afterwards. It's $35, and they have a beautiful course. So as long as the weather holds out, which it looks like it is for now, I highly recommend that you do it. It's a great place to golf, and their staff is phenomenal. So we're excited to be back. We are opening this training up to all athletes, coaches, unified partners, and caddies that want to come. For the coaches, it is required for you to have your sport-specific certification, and this will fulfill that need. If you haven't already registered for the coaches training and you need to, just send me a quick email. I did send out the link yesterday. You can still sign up there. And for everyone who is registered, I'll be sending out an email by Thursday, the very latest, just going over some last minute details for what to expect when you arrive at Hillendale. Just to show what our schedule is going to be, it's pretty similar to last year. We're going to start with doing a general Special Olympics Maryland golf overview. I will go through all different levels of golf and the rules that are associated with them. Then we're going to do the question and answer session with Marty Parks, our USGA rules official. This is the really beneficial time, I think, because Marty knows his stuff. He's fantastic. So please come with questions. If you have anything that you know you're attending the coaches training and you want us to touch on, let me know ahead of time so we can be prepared. But Marty's pretty good on his feet. So if you have anything that pops up during the training, we should be able to answer that too. Then at 11:30, we're going to do a quick instruction and training at the practice facilities. So we have the driving range and the putting green at Hillendale. Brandon Greco will actually be leading this along with one of his assistants. Last year, it went really well, and he's excited to do it again. We should be done by 12. I put 12:30 because it's always better to overestimate than underestimate. And then obviously, if you want to stay for the discounted golf, that is totally up to you. All right, registration deadlines. I know this is everyone's favorite part of everything that we do with Special Olympics because there's so many of them. So the training registration deadline is going to be August 16th, and that should say 2018, not 20178. So that is a little under than a month away. This is when you need to have everyone in GMS in training. They will not be able to go to states if they aren't in training by the state. The next deadline we run into is August 24th, the last date for missing forms to be submitted. So all athletes, volunteers, coaches, unified partners, their forms must be up to date through the state competition, which is going to be Sunday, September 30th. Athletes need to have their medicals valid through this. Coaches, partners, volunteers have to have their volunteer application, protective behaviors training, concussion certification, and sports specific for coaches. So please make sure everything is taken care of from this end. The last deadline that we have is the competition registration deadline, and this is going to be September 6th. This is when everyone needs to be entered into what level they're going to be playing or their role at the state championship. This gives me a few weeks to figure out all the divisioning and sending out the time so you guys can prepare with that. So the sooner you get this in, the better, because it lets us know what we're working with and how much space we will have. So before I jump into the next slide, I will be sending out tomorrow along with the slides. I created a spreadsheet to show everyone who was listed in golf training last year in the role of either coach or unified partner, where you stand with your certifications. I'll pull it up right now. The first tab is for all the counties. So it's sorted by alphabet, and then within that county, it's alphabetical by name too. So the first tab shows if you have a red X in your volunteer background needed column, that person needs to submit a new volunteer background. And then if you want to get into more of the specifics of when your certifications actually expire, if you don't have any red X's with your name and you want to know where you stand, I've sorted them. There's a bunch of different tabs for each county. So we have Anne Arundel, Baltimore County. It's alphabetical, starting with Anne Arundel, ending with Upper Shore. And it just shows when your things expire, and it will be highlighted in yellow if it's expired and needed for this golf season. But hopefully that will just keep everyone a little bit more aware so we don't run into any snags that come with missing forms deadlines. And let me skip through because I pressed the wrong button. Sorry. All right. So coaches requirements, this is general for all Special Olympics sports. So I know it won't come as a surprise, but all coaches need to have the Class A volunteer application and the background screening that comes along with submitting that, as well as protective behaviors training, concussion training, and a completion of the coach sport certification. So you can fulfill the coach sport certification either by attending the coaches training, or we do have an online course through ASEP. We have one specific to golf that you can take. Or if you haven't taken the Coaching Special Olympics Athletes course, you can do that to renew your certification. All of the above trainings and certifications are valid for 3 years. Protective Behaviors is free. It takes about 10 minutes. You can find it through this link. I will also send this out so it's a little bit easier to copy and paste. Concussion, we have 2 different sources that we use to submit. I recommend the CDC. It's a little bit shorter than the NFHS, but you can do whichever one you prefer. Once you complete this, please email your PDF certificate to coaches@somd.org. That is how we know that you've done it, have completed it, and then that will be passed along to me, and I will update it in GMS. Qualifying for the state tournament. So the first step to that is meeting all the training and registration requirements and deadlines, making sure all of your forms are submitted, all of that fun stuff. Same with the coaches. You need to have all your certification requirements by the specified deadline. I will be very vocal with people who do not have their stuff done, just reminding you so there's no surprises. Hopefully we can avoid having someone not be able to attend the state championship because they don't have their things in on time. And the things for qualifying for states that are more specific to golf, the one thing that we have changed is that we are requiring all county, area or county programs to host a qualifier this year. This is just to enhance competition opportunities. Like we talked about, this is what our management team focuses on. A lot of counties have just been staples in the past with hosting these great qualifiers, which is fantastic, and we hope they keep on doing it, but we kind of want to spread the wealth throughout the state of Maryland. So if your county, I know if you haven't reached out to me and you need help planning it, finding facilities, securing tee times, you're just not sure how to do so, please let me know. I'm more than willing to help out, and I would love to do that. So along with qualifiers, you have to compete at a minimum of 2 sanctioned qualifiers. Please sign up for as many as your athletes are able to attend. However, it's the same as it has been in the past. The way that you get a spot at a qualifier, it's the county program who's hosting, they get first dibs, and then whatever is left over is going to be a first come, first served basis. There is a change that I'm making with this year to try to give it kind of more a fair advantage to everyone. So I will be opening up registration for the qualifiers. It's 2 Mondays before the actual qualifier, so I think it's about 13 days. I'll send an email out in the morning with the request for participation and just say, registration's open today. Please fill this out and send it back to me. So on the form, I actually have a copy of it. It's the same as we used last year. You are just going to fill out everything in the yellow, and then you will go through, list the athletes, unified partners, and caddies and their level. If you have new teams or players, please submit a qualifying score. However, if you do not, then please don't put anything in that column. I will be pulling from the golf spreadsheet, the big one that we had from last year, which I will also send out to you guys if you want to see where your athletes are, to see if they've improved at all. But I will take all of that, and then we'll go first come, first served, put it all into their tee times, and I will be distributing tee times by hopefully Wednesday close of business before the qualifier, but definitely first thing Thursday morning. All right. So these are all the qualifiers that we have scheduled right now. As you can see, your qualifier, it doesn't need to be all 5 levels if that's something that you don't have space for. It can be just a level 2 through 5 qualifier, or it could even be just a skills qualifier. It's really whatever your capacity is. We will take as many or as few tee times as possible, just trying to get these competition opportunities so our athletes can really develop in the sport. If you are a county that is not on here, I will be reaching out to you to make sure that you are in the planning process for hosting a qualifier. I know I've had a few counties reach out to me that aren't on this list, and they're in the works, so those ones are all good to go. But please just step forward and try to make this as many as we can get. Rules reminders. So a big change that we're doing this year is we are only going to be utilizing the red tees. Traditionally, we use the red tees for our female golfers, and then 3 yards back, we put the white tees, and that's where our male golfers go from. But to avoid confusion, our management team has decided that we're just going to use the red tees. For the most part, it doesn't make too much of a difference. So we are just going to use them. So if you could practice that and do that at your qualifiers, just that way it's consistent for what's going to be happening at the state championship, that would be fantastic. Some of the frequent rules violations that we see are the grounding of clubs. So if you are in a hazard, you can take a practice shot, but if your club hits the ground or hits the ball, that counts as a stroke, so please be aware of that. Other ones that count as stroke or be hitting out a turn or a missed swing. Most of the time, the unified partners are the ones who are going to be out on the course noticing this kind of stuff. So we really want to encourage them to enforce these rules, because I know it seems like we're being sticklers, but really this is how our athletes get better at the sport and how they develop. So we want to make sure that we can keep on pushing them up from level to level and help them grow their golf skills. Similar to last year, the scoring eligibility maximum entry, we are not going to be enforcing this. So you can still compete for a place to finish at the state championship regardless of what your score is. However, if you do not have the minimum scores, then that team or that individual is not going to be eligible to advance to like the national invitational tournament or a regional competition, anything like that. Coaches, please use these standards as a guideline for determining what level a golfer should compete. I know all of you know this probably much better than me, but we just want to make sure that we have the right athletes at the right level. So if you have some really strong level 1 athletes that their skills, they should be out on a course, please get them out on a course.
And Kendall, we had a question from Greg Mead with his hand raised up. I'll let you take it.
Sure. All right, Greg, I just unmuted you.
I'm sorry?
I just unmuted you.
Okay. It was back where you had the qualifiers listed. The one in Harford County, that's only for that's an in-house, isn't it?
It's for Cecil as well.
Okay, them and Cecil, not everybody else.
Yeah, and if they have any, depending on how many Cecil County athletes register, I will talk with them and see if they have any additional slots open, and I will let all of you know.
Okay.
All right.
Greg, you are now muted again.
We have not received the 2018 rules, even though we are in August of 2018 for golf. So the 2016 rules are still going to be in play. This is what we've used for the past 2 years. We might receive the 2018 rules, but just because the season is starting, this is the real kickoff to the season. We aren't going to enforce them, so keep on using that rule book. I have included the link to it in case you need it again. But there weren't really any substantial changes from the last time they did rule changes. You can expect for the 2019 season that we will be using the 2018 rules. Fingers crossed that SOI gets us the rules by then. They should, but you never know. Crazier things have happened. All right, the golf championship, which is everyone's favorite part of the season, it's going to be on the last Sunday in September, the 30th. Again, we're going to be at Queenstown Harbor. We'll have levels 1 through 5, and we have about 200 athletes and 100 unified partners. That's the estimated participants. That's based off of last year, though. I'll have a more final number once I see how many people are registered for training. So we're hoping that this number grows a little bit. So for any questions that are relating to golf or the golf championship, please contact me. I have my email there and my phone number. Call me, text me, however is the easiest way to communicate. That's what I'm here for, to make this season as easy for you as possible. And now I kind of wanted to open up for any questions, comments, concerns that anyone might have about this season or the way that we're switching a few things up.
Yeah, currently I don't see any hands raised or any questions that have been typed in other than the one I've already addressed.
All right. It looks like, Greg, you raised your hand first. So, Greg, you should be unmuted.
Yeah. Question about we're all playing off of the red tees.
Yeah.
The male doesn't have to go 5 yards back?
No, we're going to keep them all at 1 tee box.
Okay. Just wanted to clear that up.
Yep. All right. Bob Mueller, you were second, so I have you unmuted. Bob? Bob, if you want to try and type your question to Steve in the box, and I will get started on some of these other questions that we have. Anthony, I have your line unmuted now.
Yeah, my question was, is there going to be another training? Because I'll be out of town this weekend, and I know to get certified, I need to do a training. So just.
We do have an online option. So actually in the slides that follow, it's all of our generic forms and that kind of stuff. But there is a golf coaching principles training that you can do online, or you can do your coaching Special Olympics athletes. If you have any additional questions about it, just send me an email or give me a call and I can get you started with it.
Okay.
All right, Paul, your line.
Yeah. Is there a minimum number of practice sessions that you have to have, or it's just the 2 qualifiers? Is that correct?
It is 2 qualifiers. We ask to have anywhere from 6 to as many practices you can get in. I know golf is a sport that's a little bit different in its nature than other sports because you can't just practice it anywhere. But around 6 is that number in addition to the 2 qualifiers.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, John Stansfield, I have your line unmuted.
Yeah, just a quick question. Can you bring the slide back up that has the qualifier dates on it so I can take a snapshot of it?
And Kendall, while you're bringing that up, there was a question from Judy asking about when people register for the qualifiers. They email that to you, not just fill out the form, so that you have that and you can send it out to people in advance, correct?
Yes, correct. So for every qualifier, I'm the one who does all the divisioning and all the tee times. So I compile all of the information that you send to me, and then I will send that to the competition director for the qualifiers so they have it and can give it to the pro shop to get the tee sheets. All right, Jim, your line is unmuted for your question. Jim, did you still have a question? Well, I will take that as a good sign. One other thing I wanted to touch on while you are looking at the qualifiers. So at Hillendale, I know you've probably seen my emails about this, but Brandon Greco really wants to continue with his clinics that he did last year for 2 county programs. He is willing to do it on any weekday, so whenever your practices are. If you wanted to bring some of your team or all of your team to Hillendale, they could do a specific clinic for you, and it can be based off of whatever you are struggling with, whether it's hitting with a wood or hitting with an iron or practicing chipping, all that kind of stuff. They're really fantastic there. Brandon's son is actually a student at Cedar Lane, so he really knows how to interact with our population, as do his staff members, and they're looking to grow this. So if you have any interest, please email me and let me know. And if you are someone who has already told me that you're interested, if you could just pick some tentative dates or even just days of the week and we can go to Brandon and get some dates, that would be great. This is just something that I would really like to make a regular thing to help with our competition opportunities and develop our skills. But if no one has any other questions, it looks like we do have a question from Jim. So Jim's question was how we get access to equipment for beginning golfers. Jim, are you referring to clubs or? what we can do is we can work on doing another club drive. I can talk with some of the rules officials and some of the golf clubs that we work with to see if any of their members have any clubs they could donate. Just send me a list of if you're either looking for child-sized clubs or adult clubs, that kind of thing, and bags. I can put something together and start looking for that. If not, I know Play It Again Sports, we have donated clubs there before, so they always have a ton of great things at a pretty good price. But I will start trying to put together another golf club drive for before the next time we have a webinar. But it doesn't seem as if anyone has any other questions. Steve, please correct me if I'm wrong.
I do not see any at this time.
Man, 25 minutes, not too bad. I like to keep it short because I know you guys are all very busy. But I will be sending out the link to this as well as the slides and the spreadsheet that shows your certification status. So I'm sorry if it's an overwhelming email. Please just let me know if you have any questions or comments or any ways that I can make this season better. That's what I'm always striving to do. So I'm really excited for this, and I hope you all have a great night.
And Kendall, actually, we had one last question.
Oh, awesome.
From Judy asking about when golfers move up a level from either level 1 or 2 or whatever, to provide you the qualifying scores to, although we're not forcing some of the scoring parameters, we do want to make sure that they're at the appropriate level, so they just need to submit their scores to you.
Yes, yep. Just submit them to me or give me a call if you have any questions about them.
Hopefully that answered your question, Judy. If not, you can email Kendall directly. Oh, and you said, okay, thanks. So I think that covered it. Thank you, Judy.
Perfect.
That was all the questions I see now.
All right. Thank you all for being on tonight. I will send this out to you, and I'm really looking forward to this off season. Have a nice night.